this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to further manipulate the 3D object in Freeform Pro, change its anchor point, and parent it to other 3D enabled layers in After Effects. I've got the 3D head here. I've also made the glasses 3D so that I can compare them to where the face is. After building an object in Freeform Pro, the next step is to find the anchor point and put it where we need it. I need the anchor point on this guy at the neck, and currently it's centered on the layer itself. So I just have to do some adjusting to try to get it down here, because right now it's in the middle of its face. So the one thing I need to do is I need to experiment around to try to get a position where the neck should be, which is around here somewhere, just in this area here. But I've already experimented a lot with it, and I actually found that by positioning it about 500 and 500, I got a better pivot point. So if we look at this now, it's a little bit better. It might be a little too far ahead. No, that's pretty good. So right there, it seems to be pivoting right about here, which is what I need. So I want to get that face back where it was, because it's moved. As you can see where the glasses are, the face has moved. So I need to counter the anchor point position with these the actual position. So we did 500, so I'm going to put 500 here and 500 on the Y. I'm going to put 500 here, and that puts the face back roughly where it was. I'm actually going to push the head back a little bit. Instead of having to pull all my layers forward, I'm going to just push the head back just a little. So using the plugin here, I can actually change the position of the head until, so go to your side view, and I want it just until the head's behind the glasses, just behind the glasses. So let's go about 600. Okay, that looks good. And the next thing I want to do is, I guess I can bring the position up here like that. So we're at 430. Okay, let's double check that that rotation pivot angle. It's probably about right. So in order to drive all the rotation controls in this plugin, is I can either try to animate this, but there's no way for me to link the rotation of the glasses up with this and have it parented properly. So what I need to do is I need to create a new null object, because I want to parent this so it works like an actual joint. I'm going to call this neck, and I need to now find a way to get the position of this null point in the same position as the anchor point is. So I'm going to enable 3D. First step is to get the neck, the position of the neck, exactly the same as the center point of this layer, 1500 by and 1409. So that's centered me here. So I think my next step should be going into the head here and finding the position of the actual head in space, which is, it's 600 in, so I need to go 600. So we've gone back 600 off the face. So it's 600 and it's 430. So I'm going to add 430 to this, so that'll be 839. So this is the big test. This is the way you do it, because right now if I rotate this neck, it doesn't do anything to anyone. It does nothing. I can parent the glasses to this neck, but again, the glasses just move. So how am I going to get this head to rotate with this neck? It's actually quite easy. So I'm going to go boy face. I'm going to enable, by alt-clicking all these stopwatches, I'm enabling expressions on this layer here, on the effect. And what I want to do is I want to take the rotation here, just pick whip that, and I want to add the extra rotation of this null object. There we go. And I'm going to do that for each one of these. So taking Y rotation plus the Y rotation of the null object. Same thing, Z rotation plus the Z rotation of the null object. And what that does is that means I can rotate things in the plugin, but I can also do exactly the same here. Now the big trick is to make sure that those glasses are actually following the head and not shifting off, which is what's happening here. You see how they're floating off his head? That means they each have a different rotation angle. So let's take a look here. If I look at those glasses and I rotate here down, the glasses are actually coming inside his head. They're not lined up in the Z depth. So let's have another look here. Let's try to rotate from the front of the face. The glasses are shifting down. So that means the rotation point is too high. So let's try, instead of having the neck actually positioned based off of the anchor point, let's try to, off of the Z and Y position, let's try to base it off the anchor point and see what happens there. So I'm going to go with neck. We're going to take this, and I have to, first of all, I'm going to disconnect the glasses from it, so when I move the neck around it doesn't wreck the face. And I'm going to, we added 400 to this, so I'm going to put that back to where it was. It was at 1439, and no, it wasn't. It was at 1409, and I'm going to add. Let's try the anchor point this time on the Y. So that should be 1909. So let's have a look at what happens if I rotate on the Z axis right now. Shift R to pull up the rotations. Oh, and make sure we parent the glasses back to it. That looks okay. Glasses are sticking onto his face and they're not moving anywhere. Great. So our height is right. Now let's check and see if the Z depth is right on that anchor, which I'm going to say it's probably not, but we're going to find out. Oh, there you go. The Z depth is great. So let's try to rotate this again. It seems that the glasses are sticking to the face and staying at the right distance. Alright, I've gone through and spaced out all the pieces and connected everybody. Let's have a quick look here. So let's move around the character. So as you can see, I have spaced out all the little pieces of the character. I've moved his hair pieces around. Essentially, all I've done is just, these objects aren't treated very special at all. They're just flat planes that have been pushed back or pulled forward and rotated and some duplicated in order to fill out his hair. It's really, really basic. There's nothing really special going on there. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's switch to my do not move camera. My do not move camera is essentially, it's a basic camera. There's nothing too special about it. I didn't use a really wide lens. The wider lens you use, the more distortion you get, so I tried to use a relatively long lens. I've also done a little bit of animation on this character. This lens will make his face look the best, and I will never move this camera, nor will this background be here, so that when I animate him, I can attach his head as a card onto his body, and I don't have to worry about positioning cameras or anything going weird and changing. So there he is, he's just animated. This face is now three-dimensional and it can function as a little card on his body. In the next video, I'll show you how to use the CC lens effect combined with the magnify effect to create some really sweet classes and also give some curvature to the eyeball.